Hello everyone. Welcome to ixamBee. Today we have with us Mr. Vaibhav Nair, another selected candidate for RBI Grade B 2021. First of all, many congratulations, Vaibhav,
Thank you, ma'am.
for becoming and thanks, Vaibhav, for taking out time to share your story with us, to share your strategy and how your journey has been. Let me give a little brief about Vaibhav before we hear it from himself, how his journey has been. So, Vaibhav is an engineer, civil engineer. He completed his engineering in 2020 from IIT Roorkee, and then he started preparing for government jobs. So this was his first attempt at RBI Grade B, and he has cleared it in his first attempt. So again, many congratulations, Vaibhav, as we will discuss
Thanks.
how you made it possible. Okay, so Vaibhav, very interesting. We were talking before we started this. So I was asking him, how did you think of RBI Grade B? With your civil engineering and being in IIT Roorkee, why didn't you think of a placement? So he said very interesting story how he got to know about RBI Grade B while he was first thinking of UPSC. So let's hear it from Vaibhav only. Vaibhav, कैसे
Yeah.
आपको मन किया RBI Grade B एग्जाम देने का?
Ma'am, during my graduation, I had the some exposure of economics and management as the minor courses were there, but I was not aware of like what the exams like RBI Grade B is there. So after during my graduation, I prepared for UPSC civil services. So I gave last year one attempt, but I couldn't clear it. So I was looking for alternatives, and my sister was preparing for banking exams. So she told me there is an exam RBI Grade B and as this course is there. So I found like it is aligning with some of my knowledge base. So I decided to let's take this exam as an alternative.
Okay. So आपने जैसे ये बात कही कि लेट्स ट्राई दिस एग्जाम एज एन ऑल्टरनेट, तो हमने भी देखा है कि बहुत यूपीएससी एस्पायरेंट्स आरबीआई की ग्रेड बी के लिए भी तैयारी करते हैं. सो क्या सिमिलैरिटी आपको लगती है, क्या हेल्प किया, कौन से पेपर में आपको हेल्प किया, एंड किस पे आपको ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ी?
Ma'am, जैसे कि if we look at this, then we see that there is a very overlapping syllabus in the economics and the social issues ASI paper, and also the finance part is also there in UPSC. So I found that like they are overlapping. So some preparation was already there for me, and the tricky part was a bit for management. So I was preparing the management part in the when I get into the phase two. So this was that they're overlapping.
ओके, सो थोड़ा सा अभी स्ट्रक्चरली शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. तो जैसे फेज़ वन है, फेज़ वन में हमारा क्वांट, रीजनिंग, इंग्लिश आ जाता है,
Hmm.
फिर जीए होता है. तो इसके लिए आपने कैसे प्रिपरेशन करी, वैभव?
मैम अभी जैसे क्वांट और रीजनिंग, so like engineering background था, तो like I handled it, and especially the what I did special like was attempted mock test. So like I
ओके.
gave it thoroughly, like, and then I looked upon like where I was lacking, it needs practice, point and reasoning. So I was doing all that, and for the GK part, like some of my preparation was from the UPSC base, and like the banking part and the other part, I prepared for that. Some of the like online free quizzes are there, like weekly quizzes. So I refer to those only. So from that I completed my that current affairs part. So and for English, I did not have much problem in that. So I managed phase one from like this.
ओके. सो वैभव, जैसे आपने बोला योर यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन वाज देयर, तो आप जीए पढ़ते रहते थे. सो वाज इट एनी पर्टिकुलर नंबर ऑफ मंथ्स दैट यू वर टारगेटिंग? स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत ये डिलेमा रहता है कि हम 4 महीने का पढ़ें, कि 6 महीने का पढ़ें, कि 8 महीने का पढ़ें. एंड दिस टाइम तो कोविड था, तो एग्जाम्स भी थोड़ा लेट हुए थे, तो और ज़्यादा कन्फ्यूजन था कि पिछले
Yes, ma'am.
नोटिफिकेशन से अभी तक के लिए पढ़ें कि सिर्फ 4 महीने का पढ़ें. तो व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रैटेजी इसमें?
मैम माय प्लान वाज लाइक अभी जितना 5-6 महीने का, तो एटलीस्ट बैंकिंग अवेयरनेस का वाज like I will give every quiz and then prepare the notes from that only. So
Mhm.
that revise the banking part was that. And if you say, like the other part, some also the general awareness, so I refer to the newspaper. I had that habit during the UPSC preparation, so I was
Okay.
reading newspaper and also other current affair magazines for UPSC.
Mhm.
So that helped me. So if we say like the what amount we should look at for the current affairs. So I think 6 months at least, like for sure, we should prepare for banking relevant, and 1 year the major economic events, what happened, and like any three launches or fiscal policy. So I think 1 year is like one should look at the major events.
ओके, ओके। सो इस पे भी मतलब आप कितना टाइम दिन में देते होंगे, लाइक प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, क्यूआरई, जीए, ओवरऑल आपका दिन कितने घंटे चले जाते होंगे वैभव?
मैम मेरा ऐसा था लाइक 3 से 4 घंटे मैं एज आरबीआई को देने लगा था एग्जाम से एक महीना पहले। ठीक है, तो
ओके।
उसमें भी लाइक आई नो दैट आई गेव फ्यू मॉक टेस्ट इन द स्टार्ट, एंड देन आई रियलाइज दैट आई कैन मैनेज इंग्लिश पार्ट। So then I switched, like I will focus only on quant and reasoning, and after like I have to maintain the speed in that. So like learning the tables, squares, so I basic things I gathered on. And for the GA part I revised only, like it was also preparing like part of my UPSC preparation, so I got that covered there. So like on an average, if you like if you include the GA part, so minimum 7-8 hours is there for like RBI grade B.
ओके, ओके। तो दैट्स अ गुड थिंग, एंड सम पॉइंट्स दैट आर कमिंग आउट जो मैं यहाँ पे थोड़ा-सा ध्यान देना चाहूँगी कि यू स्ट्रेस्ड, आपने शुरू में भी बोला, अभी भी बोला कि आपने मॉक टेस्ट दिए, आपने मॉक टेस्ट पे ध्यान दिया है। सो आई थिंक वो बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है प्रिपरेशन का, टू गिव मॉक टेस्ट टू नो, like Vaibhav after giving mock test got to know कि English is manageable. English is something I don't need to give too much time or too much effort, but quant और reasoning is something जिसमें speed पे काम करना पड़ेगा. So I think उससे एक reality check हो जाता है हमारा कि where we stand, and then to
Yes,
make
ma'am.
a strategy it becomes easier. तो वैभव इस बार का रीजनिंग का, कई कई बच्चों ने बोला है कि रीजनिंग का पार्ट ट्रिकी था, इट वाज डिफिकल्ट, एंड कट ऑफ भी रिलेटिवली उसके हिसाब से
Mhm.
कम गई थी बिकॉज डिफिकल्ट था। तो आपको रीजनिंग एस्पेक्ट कैसा लगा था इस बार एग्जाम का, एंड आपको अपनी प्रिपरेशन उसके अप टू मार्क लगी थी कि नहीं लगी थी?
Like reasoning was like a bit tough, but like I don't like much compare. Like it was whether it is easy. I know that is relative for everyone. If it is tough for me, then it is tough for everyone.
राइट,
So I
राइट।
don't think much about it. I just focus like I have to give my maximum, my best. So I focus only that. Like I don't compare it with someone.
ओके, ओके। सो आपकी जो प्रिपरेशन रही रीजनिंग में वैभव, वो ठीक थी, मतलब आपने जितना टाइम दिया, अब जैसे हाइंडसाइट में सोचें तो आपने जो किया था वो ठीक किया था? आपको क्या लगता है कि कोई मिस्टेक्स थी जो आप स्टूडेंट्स को बोलना चाहें कि वो ना करें या करें? कोई चीज़ बहुत अच्छी जो आपके लिए वर्क करी, ऐसा कुछ?
मैम जैसे कि लाइक पजल्स में ही होता है असली प्रॉब्लम।
हम्म।
सो पजल्स का में मुझे थोड़ा इशू वहाँ पे भी आया।
अच्छा।
सो उसमें मुझे ऐसा लगा कि लाइक मैंने थोड़ा टाइम जो डिवोट करना था कि जो स्पेशली कोडिंग वाली पजल्स होती है, तो मैंने उसमें कम किया था। तो मुझे लगता है कि अगर
ओके।
मैं उसमें करता थोड़ा और अच्छा आया था।
राइट, राइट। सो वैभव ने काफ़ी अच्छी बात बोली, रिलेटिव, एक तो हमेशा कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में इट इज़ रिलेटिव परफॉर्मेंस, राइट? तो हम एब्सोल्यूट लेके कि बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, बुरा है, इसको लेके छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं, बिकॉज अदरवाइज ये एक स्टेप है। अगर हम डीमोटिवेट हो जाएंगे या परेशान हो जाएंगे या स्ट्रेस लेने लगेंगे तो हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप के लिए उतना एफर्ट अच्छे से फुल हार्टेडली नहीं कर पाएंगे। So it is, we have to understand that also. So very good thing said Vaibhav. Vaibhav, अगर अब now that we move to phase 2, एंड स्पेशली जैसे इस बार फेज 2 में डिस्क्रिप्टिव भी आ गया है, सो इंग्लिश डिस्क्रिप्टिव तो पहले से था ही, अब ईएसआई एंड
यस
एफएम
मैम।
में भी 50% उन्होंने डिस्क्रिप्टिव कर दिया है। तो उसके लिए आपको कोई स्पेशल तैयारी करनी पड़ी डिस्क्रिप्टिव पार्ट के लिए, कि आप जो अपना नॉर्मल पढ़ते थे उसी से आपका तैयारी हो गई?
मैम इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल इश्यूज The course was like I almost have once read it during my UPSC preparation. So that part, I was like, okay, like I can handle that, and I just need to revise a few points in that. So that helped from the UPSC part. But the major part was the management part, which I had issues. So for that, during the preparation, the phase two training was conducted by iXamBee. So I attended those classes for the management part. So from that, I could like I was aware like what is the syllabus, and I just highlighted from the syllabus like this part is done, this part is done, and whatever was missing like from the notes of the exam be like I refer to the other materials online, and like the YouTube videos are also there. So I did it from there, and also the descriptive part is there. So
Mhm.
before if you say the writing practice, I had the writing practice of the social issues and the economic issues like during UPSC preparation. So I
Mhm.
was know that how to structure an answer.
Right.
So but the challenge was like typing. So like the limit was there 600 words about
Mhm.
for the 15 mark question. So
Mhm.
I couldn't manage it like the what they asked for us. But I
Okay.
think the content matters more. So like I did about 60 to 70% word limit. I matched with them. So that if you are average typist, you can manage that part.
ओके। बट अगर आप टाइपिंग प्रैक्टिस करते तो आपको लगता है कि आप थोड़ा सा और बेटर इसमें कर पाते।
हाँ obviously
राइट।
मैम वो ये उसमें like I have to think and then the type.
टाइप इट
So
राइट।
उसमें इशू होता है और ऊपर से लाइक कीबोर्ड उनका कई बार ऐसा हार्ड कीज थी वहाँ पे मेरे पास तो थी. So like if one needs to practice one should buy the cheapest keyboard and then practice I think.
ओके। सो वैभव यहाँ पे मतलब मैं थोड़ा सा एक मिनट लूंगी बताने के लिए कि ये बहुत कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होते हैं जो कभी-कभी हम स्टूडेंट्स अपनी प्रिपरेशन में मिस कर जाते हैं कि एक होता है कंटेंट प्रिपेयर करना और एक होता है एग्जीक्यूशन उसका कर पाना।
Yes ma'am.
सो कंटेंट तो आई एम श्योर आप लोग इतना पढ़ते हैं, तैयारी करते हैं, मेहनत करते हैं, उसपे बहुत बहुत मतलब इनफैक्ट मेजॉरिटी लोगों का 90% से 100% तक ध्यान उसी पे रहता है। बट जो एग्जीक्यूशन की आपने बात करी कि टाइपिंग नहीं प्रैक्टिस करी, टाइपिंग हाथ से लिखने की आदत है, हाथ से प्रैक्टिस करने की आदत है, बट यहाँ पे रिक्वायरमेंट थी कि एग्जाम में आपको टाइप करना है। एंड देन कीबोर्ड्स की कई बार लोगों ने बताया कि सेंटर्स पे कीबोर्ड्स डिफरेंट होते हैं या हार्ड होते हैं, तो वी आर नॉट यूज टू इट। तो वो प्रैक्टिस भी बहुत ज़रूरी होती है कई बार, क्योंकि आपका स्ट्रक्चर है, आपका दिमाग के साथ उंगलियां चल रही हैं, वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है। मतलब
Yes
इट
ma'am.
मे हेल्प, ऑफ कोर्स इट कैन हेल्प यू पुल अप योर मार्क्स। कई बार आप कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते हैं, आपका थॉट्स बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, तो दैट इज़ वेरी गुड। एंड जस्ट हाईलाइटिंग कि आईएसएमपी में जब हम लोग के मॉक टेस्ट होते हैं तो इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ एमसीक्यूज, ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड डिस्क्रिप्टिव इन दैट सेम मैनर जैसा एग्जाम में होता है, सो दैट पीपल कैन प्रैक्टिस एंड हैव द एग्जाम फील राइट। क्योंकि उस सिचुएशन में अगर आप पैनिक ना करें या आप यूज टू हो तो काफ़ी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें और अच्छी हो जाती हैं, आपकी प्रिपरेशन और
Yes ma'am.
बढ़िया हो जाती है। So yes, Vaibhav, that was very helpful. And English descriptive के लिए भी आपने कुछ तैयारी करी थी अलग से कि यूपीएससी की तैयारी से ही आपका वो भी हेल्प हुआ?
मैम कह सकते हैं कि यूपीएससी से हेल्प हुआ है बट लाइक वन और टू क्लासेस लाइक व्हाट इज द लाइक पैटर्न like how to write the summary like I'm not very used to like how to write it exact we have to match the exact word limits of what. So in that
Right.
Sanjeev sir's class was there. So I attended one
Mhm.
such class, so he like discussed the basics of that paper. So that part helped like how I have to approach the paper. So
Right.
but other than that like English was okay for me.
ओके। ग्रेट। ग्रेट। सो वैभव, कुछ लोग पूछ रहे हैं आपके सोर्सेज। सो आप सोर्सेज बता सकते हैं, आपने जीए कहाँ से प्रिपेयर करी, ईएसआई, इंग्लिश एंड कुछ मैनेजमेंट के लेक्चर्स एंड ऑल। सो कुणाल इज आस्किंग कि सच में आपने कोचिंग यहाँ से ली है। सो आई जस्ट repeat what Vaibhav had said. Vaibhav had taken, we had done iExamP had done RBI training for phase one and phase two also. So as a part of that training, Vaibhav had taken part in the phase 2 preparation, and he is also there for our mock interview programs. या सो वैभव आपके हिसाब से आपने और कौन कौन से सोर्सेज बुक्स में भी कौन सी आपने रेफर करी है प्रेपरेशन में जो हेल्पफुल रही हैं एंड मॉक्स के लिए आपने सोर्सेज या इन न्यूज़पेपर एक सोर्स उन्होंने बताया था कि वो ही इज़ इन द हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग अ न्यूज़पेपर सो मे बी इफ यू कैन सजेस्ट विच न्यूज़पेपर्स यू रीड एंड विच न्यूज़पेपर you think are good for reading, Vaibhav, that
Yes,
can
ma'am.
be helpful.
Ma'am, like for the finance part and some of the economic parts. So, like during my UPSC preparation, I prepared from the traditional UPSC sources. So,
Okay.
like the Mrunal sir's lecture was there. So,
Okay.
I attended those lectures only for the finance part and the economic part. So I prepared that from the UPSC part, and the was the social issues. So that also like uh, it was very like generalized topic, and most of the orientation is the current, and this like
Correct.
simple definitions also there. So one can Google and like search it, and also like if you look at some of the UPSC sources, you can find like Indian Society book is there. So from that one can get help, some help from the learning the definitions. So apart from that, the management part I did from the iXamBee course. So I got the notes from there and also some of the video lectures. So I like highlighted the notes whatever there and then revise it. So, like and after that, for the English part, I was not I was comfortable with that, so I did not much prepare for it.
Great, great, Vaibhav. So that's, I think, helpful. So that's how Vaibhav has prepared, and he whatever uh, areas or topics that he needed more guidance for, he had referred to iXamBee's notes and videos and sessions accordingly. If I come to now the interview aspect, Vaibhav. So once you got to know you've cleared phase 2, I'm sure there must be a dual feeling. One, you must be very happy. Second, you must be now, okay, this is the last phase. I have to clear this. And I remember you were the initial people who had come in May itself, because many of the students, for the mock interview in May itself, you had come this as soon as the
Yes, ma'am.
results came out, because many students were delaying giving mock interview, that when the actual interview dates will come, then they will give, so that it is closer and fresher. But many were smart enough to come earlier so that they had more time to work on it. So I remember you coming in May itself for the mock interview to
Yes,
understand
ma'am.
how the interview should be like and what you should prepare. So, yes, your actual experience and how you prepared till the actual dates came out for the interviews.
Okay, like when I got like I have this interview, so like I booked a slot of like 7 and 10 days after the result, so that I prepared some basic for the interview, and then I gave one mock interview, and whatever the feedback was given to me, I worked only on that for the rest of the 2 months, one and a
Okay.
half months about. So
Yeah.
like I have like mostly the HR part and some of the like current affairs. They emphasize like I have to work on that. So like I started raising two newspapers that time. Like one was the business newspaper, Business Line, and another was the Indian Express, as
Okay.
it was like the local newspaper for the Lucknow region. So I
Okay.
refer to that. So that some local news is like if they ask, I can answer that in the interview.
Okay.
So I like that. And apart from that, like as most of the countries do like annual RBI report and the website. So these were the resources during the interview.
Okay, so you mentioned that you were also updating yourself for local news, so that's why you were looking at the edition. So that reminds me another point that we were talking about before the session started. So Vaibhav comes from a small, relatively small place, Saharanpur, in Uttar Pradesh. So I was asking him, did he face any difficulties in preparation or knowing about such exams? And he was telling me, now everything is so much easily available that it doesn't really matter. So Vaibhav, why don't you share that thought and feeling, of preparation and coming from small places, does it matter or not matter anymore?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like I said earlier, like today is like everyone is having internet, so like
Yes.
internet has bridged that gap, like looking for the resources and like awareness also. Like if you refer to one educational site, you will get a number of things about that, different exams, not only RBI or just another banking. You will get the other non-traditional exams from the internet also. And apart from that, many the free resources are there. More and more tech platforms are coming there. So neither everything is like closer to to a person. And the restriction, like one has to go to a big town like Delhi or Mumbai to prepare. So it has shrink. The gap has shrunk now. So I think like if one is dedicated and if he has the like good internet, so he can manage well.
Yeah, so good internet is one key thing, and it brings you at the same footing with anybody else
Yeah.
sitting anywhere in the country, and equal opportunity, really an equal opportunity. This has really helped the online education, the platforms and coachings that are available. So when you talk about this, everything is available, so there is also the other side of it, कि कई बार हमारे पास इतना कुछ होता है कि हम समझ नहीं पाते हैं कि क्या चूज करें या कैसे चूज करें. सो वैभव, उस वैसी वैसी दुविधा आपको हुई थी या नहीं हुई थी? या आपका कोई एक्सपीरियंस इस मामले में आप कुछ शेयर करना चाहेंगे, आपके थॉट्स?
मैम मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि अब जो भी तुम्हारे सामने अब एग्जाम है तो लाइक यू लुक एट द सिलेबस and if you look at the syllabus then you look at the various resources. So now
Yes.
if we look at the requirement of like RBI, so the RBI paper, so if you look at the descriptive part, we know that the topic is like globalization is there. So like if we look at the what the minimum resources required for that. So if you can strategize that, like okay, one is basic knowledge about globalization and its effects. So that part is covered. So the resource which give me that part, minimum part in the minimum time, but with the maximum utility, I will opt for that. So like this one can prioritize what material he should refer to. Always be like exam oriented. What the exam is demanding from you. Always
Right.
like identify that.
True, true. Very, very, very important. कई बार because we are lost in the knowledge, or the information that is available, कि हम अपना टारगेट भूल जाते हैं, गोल
Yes,
भूल
ma'am.
जाते हैं, है ना? तो कभी कभी फिर इसीलिए हमें फिर कंफ्यूजन होता है कि कौन सा रास्ता लें, किसको फॉलो करें, एंड there's a jungle out there, और then we get lost in that और रास्ता भूल जाते हैं. तो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट कि हमें अपना टारगेट पता होना चाहिए कि हम क्या चाहते हैं, उस टारगेट तक पहुंचने के लिए क्या रास्ता है, या क्या, जैसे ये एग्जाम रास्ता है आरबीआई ग्रेड बी पहुंचने के लिए, तो अगर हमें सिलेबस पता है, हमें उसे फॉलो करना है, तो हम वो नहीं भूलना चाहिए व्हेन वी आर
Yes, ma'am.
studying and making our notes and all. And making notes is very very important, बिकॉज वो हेल्प करते हैं हमें रिविजन में बाद में, और थॉट्स होते हैं, सो इट बिकम्स मच मोर ईजियर टू रिमेंबर कि हमने क्या पढ़ा था, क्या सोच के उसको नोट डाउन किया था. तो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सम वेरी स्मॉल स्मॉल पॉइंट्स आई थिंक, जो हमने कई बार सुने हैं, कई बार लोगों को प्रैक्टिस करते हुए भी देखा है, बट जब हम खुद करते हैं तो ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हम मिस कर देते हैं. सो इट्स जस्ट लाइक अ रिमाइंडर अगेन एंड अगेन, the importance of strategy, the importance of revising, the importance of consistency, and the importance of utilizing the time. जो आपके पास है आप तभी स्टार्ट करिए. तो सिद्धार्थ मेरे से चैट में पूछ रहे हैं कि हाउ मच टाइम इट टेक्स इफ वी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम जीरो.
Start
तो
from
वैभव,
zero.
कुछ कहना चाहेंगे
Uh,
इसके ऊपर कि अगर कोई जीरो से तैयारी कर रहा है या स्क्रैच से तैयारी कर रहा है तो कितना टाइम लगेगा?
Ma'am, if it is very subjective question, I think like one has to first like gauge his strengths and weaknesses, like what part he is strong at, what part he is weak at. So if one wants to start, like one can look at the previous year question papers and the syllabus, and then see like one can attempt some mock test there also. Like if he knows, like I know some basics about this, I know some advanced knowledge about this, so like he
Yeah.
can measure himself and what where he is lacking. So then I think one can really say like what time he requires. So it is subjective. I can't say like he needs minimum this time or that.
True, Vaibhav. So, Siddharth, if I will also take a little 1 minute to answer your question. So, CP सर ने चंद्र प्रकाश जोशी सर ने बहुत अच्छी वीडियो बनाई है गाइड करने के लिए कि अगर आपको ज़ीरो से तैयारी करनी है, ज़ीरो से स्क्रैच से तैयारी करनी है, तो कैसे आप उसको स्ट्रैटेजाइज कर सकते हैं, कितना टाइम लगेगा, कहाँ से शुरुआत करनी चाहिए. सो सिद्धार्थ, आई विल एनकरेज यू टू हैव अ लुक एट दैट. एंड उसमें सर ने बीटेक स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी डिस्कस किया हुआ है कि कैसे करेंगे. सो वो भी एक आपके लिए हेल्पफुल हो सकता है. एंड जैसे वैभव भी बोल रहे हैं कि यू कैन गिव वन मॉक टेस्ट, यू कैन हैव अ लुक एट द सिलेबस, द रिक्वायरमेंट, एंड देन गिव वन मॉक टेस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड वेयर यू स्टैंड टुडे. So that becomes a good starting point. So yes, coming back to वैभव, वैभव और कैसा माहौल रहा है, मतलब हमने जर्नी तो पूरी बात कर ली. अब जर्नी के बाद कल सैटरडे को जब रिजल्ट आया शाम को, तो कैसी फीलिंग थी, कैसा माहौल रहा है आपके घर में, आपके आसपास. जैसे हमने बताया कि आप शायद ये भी बता रहे थे कि आप 100% श्योर नहीं, लेकिन शायद सहारनपुर में आप पहले ही होंगे जो ग्रेड बी ऑफिसर बन रहे हैं. तो मेनी मेनी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस वंस अगेन. एंड कैसी
Thanks, ma'am.
फीलिंग रही है सैटरडे से अभी तक?
Yes, ma'am. Like ma'am, on the Saturday, like we were not expecting, like it is usually like weekend at RBI. So suddenly I saw that the result is there. So when I opened, like my hand was shaking. Well, like my name is there or not. I was
Yeah.
like shaking really. My heart was pumping very hard. So, but thankfully I found my name there, and then I told my parents like I got selected. So like my mother was she started crying, like you, I've got my first job. So like everyone was happy, and then I told some of my close friends about it, and then they all congratulated. They called me, and like it was like a celebratory environment that time. So and now like just waiting for the like the joining dates and other formalities.
Great, great. All the best, Vaibhav. I'm sure you will love this journey. First job and first year of preparation, and a focused and strategized preparation. And I'm sure you will do well. Best wishes from our side,
Thanks,
from our
ma'am.
students, from the entire team of ixamBee, and wishing you all the luck and best wishes from our
Thanks, ma'am.
side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vaibhav, for joining in, sharing your strategy and your time with us.
Oh, thanks, ma'am.